First off, Chris, Happy New Year. How was your Christmas break?
Yeah, good. Got to spend some good family time. Really enjoyed that. We did do some recruiting and so forth, but I've got 3 kids, and it was good to watch them grow up.
How about the start of the new year? It's like the harvest being built, and it's the fruit of the labor is coming up from what you've done in the winter. How exciting a time is this for you?
Yeah, sitting around over Christmas, we love to open presents, but it's game time now. Right. And when we do so much work in the fall and we take them through the process, it's really fun to kind of get back in the spring, and it's go time, it's game time, and we're ready to go.
Preseason polls were released this week. When you see those come through and you look at the top to bottom, regardless of where the teams are preseason, and again, it doesn't mean anything. I'll take the words out of your mouth because coaches will say that, and I completely agree with you. But when you analyze things before the balls have even begun hitting, what comes to mind, or what thoughts kind of populate up there?
Well, I don't blame the coaches. They voted what they see, and what they see is that Sam went pro, and we've got a young team. I might have voted the same way. Now, what they don't see is that we've got a group of young guys that's very motivated and working really hard. So, what I see on the court and what they see from a distance are two different things.
How about you started practice this past Saturday? When was the last time you were with your group and going through the winter break? What did you tell them to do to stay in shape, and how were the first couple of workouts?
Yeah, good. They came back very motivated. Over the break, we're wanting to increase strength as we have a time that they can let their bodies heal, but at the same time, we want to increase strength. The spring can kind of be a grind. We don't get enough weight sessions in. It's hard as we're on the road a lot to just keep our strength up. So we really want to kind of hit the ground running from a strength standpoint when they get here.
Who has kind of surprised you so far the first couple of workouts?
Well, my young guys, and they're mostly young, come back and they're just really motivated. So right from the first day on Saturday, we saw them striking the ball really well. I made some comments to our coaching staff that I thought that we were striking the ball well. We had a doubles tournament over the weekend, and I saw some good things happen. So, I'm not sure it's just one person, but as a unit, I thought that we were striking the ball well when they first returned.
Got a couple of things you're working with an ankle and some other things with the team, and you're going to be adjusting that lineup. How do you go about doing that in the first couple of weeks?
Well, it kind of takes care of itself. We've got some guys that have been competing well in the fall, and certainly they'll populate some of the spots up top. But as it works down, we're going to take it match by match and give some guys some opportunities, and that's what we always tell them, that, we're going to put you in a match, and win or lose, you've got an opportunity to do a lot of things out there, and so you've got an opportunity to earn your spot, and that's what it's going to be.
Here's so much in tennis, Chris, about competing, and you've even used that verb pretty much every time we talk to you. What do you do to create competition in practice and mentally tell these kids, okay, if you compete and you put the work in, you can get more time, within the top 6? How do you go about creating that and sustaining that during a year?
Yeah, and a lot of it, I think, guys are very competitive, so we're always given time in practice for them to kind of let that out at the end of practice. We do a lot of education, work them through the process, but then we let them compete. But we also talk a lot about the competition during tournaments or during matches is what we're really looking for. And so how they compete is, I'm very aware of how they compete and how they stay in points, how they deal with momentum shifts and these types of things. So, those are really you hit on some of the things that as a young team we're really going over right now as we want to compete freshmen with seniors or freshmen with juniors or sophomores with seniors. Then how we compete is paramount to what our success this year.
The season's coming up on January 28th. You have a couple matches on that same day with King and Bluefield State. How do you go about, when you have 2 matches in one day, staying fresh and keeping the kids ready to go?
Well, I'm not sure staying fresh is the goal, but, we have 2 matches for a reason. It's because we want them to kind of go through everything physically, and we want to see the decision-making that they're going through as they kind of get spent physically a little bit, and it really kind of drags them into them not being able to hit their way out of trouble, but they have to think their way out of trouble, and they have to use the right tactics out there. So, it's just part of the process to go through 2 matches and see how we perform from one to the next.
I want to get your thoughts also. As you know, during lunch, I'll run through here a number of days during the week, and can't help but notice the new addition of the seats and more tennis courts, and thoughts on the improvements to the complex, which is already one of the best in the country.
Yeah, and one of the best in the state. We probably have the best outdoor tennis facility in the state right now, and so it's really adding to our recruiting. Our recruiting class this year was fantastic. Our recruiting class for next year is fantastic. Some of the kids we're already looking at past that are fantastic, and so we're getting contacted by other places for tournaments to come to our facility. So, as we look 3 years ago when we had this conversation, it was mostly conjecture at that point, but now it's really come to fruition, and we've got a lot of excitement around it, and it's really helping our program.
All right, Chris, always enjoy talking to you. Have a great spring, okay?
Thanks so much.
Men's tennis coach Chris Johnson.